Across college, the NFL season kicks off in 5 days with the Cowboys. They haven't made any headlines. Heading to Philly to take on the Super Bowl champs. Dallas will, of course, be without Micah Parsons, traded to Green Bay Thursday. The four-time Pro Bowler agreeing to a 4-year, $188 million deal with the Pack. 120 of that is guaranteed. Dallas received defensive tackle Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks as well. Here's Parsons speaking last night after joining the Pack.
No, I didn't have any say. It was just, I would say I'm pretty lucky because I understand the rich history of the Packers and the fact that they had interest in me and understand that they had a pretty tough team already in the NFC, and I was pretty much geared up, ready to play them, looking for revenge. But now I'm on the other side of adding to this rich history and being able to play with these guys and suit up and, play. I'm very excited.
Before you left, did you talk to Jerry, Steven? Did they tell you that you were being traded, or was it all through David?
It was pretty much all through David. You know what I mean?
So Micah Parsons joining one of the best teams across the NFL in one of the best divisions. 3 of the 4 went to the playoffs last season in the NFC North. What's the rest of the league as Jeremy Fowler joins the program this morning? It's the gift that keeps giving for SportsCenter viewers. What is the rest of the league saying about this deal going down?
Gee, the reviews are mixed. Now, I will say people around the league are not as down on this trade for Dallas as a lot of the media is that said it was a disaster. They said, if you had to move on from him, getting 2 first-round picks and a good defensive tackle on Kenny Clark is really not that bad. Not great. I talked to a few execs who said, hey, if you would have done it maybe in late March, early April before the draft, you could have got some better draft picks. Green Bay's going to be pretty good this year, so their first-round picks are probably going to be somewhere in the 20s in the first round. So the picks are not as good. The bigger criticism is that the fact they moved on from him at all. Like, you have a Hall of Fame player that you couldn't work it out with, but considering they had to trade him this late before week 1, they actually got a decent return.
4 years of pro, 4 years of Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro, and he's going back to Dallas to hunt Dak Prescott week 4, Sunday Night Football. The script keeps giving to us. Who's paying attention to the deal, the extension that Micah Parsons signed, 4 years, $188 million? Because he is the tide that lifts all boats.
Gary, if you are Detroit's Aiden Hutchinson, Thursday was a pretty good day. You saw that deal come down the pipe. I mean, the pass rush money is crazy. It has more than doubled in the last 7 years. So that's good news for Hutchinson, who is going into his 4th year. The Lions have 2 years of contractual control on him, so they don't have to do anything right now, but they have started a dialogue about a potential extension. The little bit of a hiccup here is that leg injury he had last year, and the Lions would like to see him get back on the field a little bit, see where he is. That's my sense. However, he's looked so good in the preseason and in practices, they're not all that worried about it. They know he's elite. He showed that last year in the minimal amount of games that he's played. So I expect the Lions to try to lock him up here sooner than later.
Micah Parsons became the highest non-quarterback to ever get paid in the National Football League. Hold that title while you can, because Aiden Hutchinson is probably coming for it sooner rather than later. Jeremy back in a little bit on the program with week 1 injury.
Taylor Swift. What a love story. What an ending. What a move in a week filled with them. That is the biggest move that we've seen this week.
Hey, I tell you what, the rich get richer. Way to go, Terrell.
Yeah, talk about swinging for the fences and hit a home run, man.
Hey, welcome to NFL Live. You already heard my boy Adam Schefter. We have Damian Woody and Dan Orlovsky here with me. I mean, Dan, when you're Travis Kelce and you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, you're one of the greatest players to ever play, it's difficult to marry up.
He did. You can't marry down, that's for sure. Listen, all jokes aside, I watched the podcast that was on New Heights with Travis, Jason, and her. I thought she was awesome. I hope they get married. I hope they're married forever. I hope they have a bunch of kids, and have just an awesome life together in that regard. They seem great. So,
to me, listen,
congrats.
I want to see people be happy.
No doubt.
And when you looked at both of them on the New Heights podcast, she was happy, Travis was happy. They're 2 people that love each other, and I'm so glad that all the people that were part of this is a publicity stunt camp,
we're wrong,
now have egg on their face. But let's get to real football. My hometown team finally named a starting quarterback. Adam, what can you tell us about New Orleans' decision?
RC, Kellen Moore, the Saints head coach, announced this afternoon that the Saints' new starting quarterback will be one Spencer Rattler. He gets the nod over the rookie second-round draft pick Tyler Shuck. They're going to head into the regular season opener with Rattler at the helm. And Rattler played pretty well. It's not like one of these quarterbacks outplayed the other by a drastic amount this summer, but it was enough for Rattler to win the job. And I think when you talk to people around the league, they believe that essentially it'll be easier to go from Rattler to Shuck one day than to start with Shuck, bench him, and go to Rattler.
Yeah, that's the reason why I always felt, or at least as this preseason has gone on, Spencer Rattler would be and should be the starting quarterback. He had some bright moments as well. Shefty's right that neither quarterback stood out in this regard. But week 2 of the preseason, he led an awesome comeback late where he got hot. He's as talented throwing the football as a lot of guys that we know in this league. And now he's got a decent opportunity with an offensive-minded head coach and is still a very young and promising receiver in Chris Olave. I would highly suspect Tyler Shuck plays at some point this year. But Spencer Rattler's got an opportunity to be the starting quarterback, and now it's up to him to make the most of it.
Yeah, Dan, just to piggyback off that, we know that Spencer Rattler is a very talented guy, but ultimately we know that Tyler Shuck, obviously the draft pick from this year, he's going to see the field at some point. And I think Adam said it perfectly. You rather go from a veteran to the rookie rather than a rookie and bench the rookie and go to the veteran. So at some point this year, Tyler Shuck's going to see the field. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, absolutely. When Tyler Shuck was coming out this year, I mean, Louis Riddick couldn't have been higher on what his potential could be as a starting quarterback in this league. But we forget sometimes who Spencer Rattler was, whether it was at Oklahoma or South Carolina before he was drafted in the 5th round. Incredibly strong arm, incredibly talented. But Tyler Shuck is the guy who I expect to see the field at some point this year, because if you're Kellen Moore, you have to know headed into next year, is your franchise quarterback of the future actually in your building? And if he isn't, you need to move on and figure out who that is.
Totally.
No, that wasn't the only business of today. By 4 p.m. Eastern, they have to be down. Every roster needs to be down to 53. Adam, what notable cuts should we know about?
RC, we saw a slew of notable cuts across the league today. Older players, younger players. Here are some of the big names from today, leading off with the Giants quarterback, Tommy Cutlets DeVito. Put on waivers today, essentially in New York. Desmond Ridder let go. Jake Haener in New Orleans. Deontay Johnson, the former Steelers, Browns wide receiver. Another wide receiver, Malachi Corley. Clyde Edwards-Helaire in New Orleans. McCole Hardman, Jalen Mills, Hunter Renfrow, Robert Woods, KJ Hamler, Carson Steele. Those are some of the names. They're still coming in right now. The Browns released their veteran kicker, Dustin Hopkins. They're going to go with a younger kicker right now. So, again, huge moves. They're still coming in. As for the Cincinnati Bengals, they get their deal done with Trey Hendrickson.